Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday, July 28th. From the San Antonio Express News, my name is Luis Vasquez, and this is your Express Briefing. All of the stories you need to know to start your day. You can expect partly sunny skies, possible thunderstorms, and a high of about 95 in San Antonio today. Bryce Wisdom, whose battle with cancer and motto Bryce Strong resonated throughout San Antonio, died late Sunday night. He was 17 years old. With his determination, Bryce showed us all how to live, writes Nick Talbot. You can read more about this incredible young man and his story at the link in the episode's description. San Antonio officials reported 355 new coronavirus cases on Monday and no new deaths. It was the first time since June 29th no COVID-19 deaths were reported in the city. Meanwhile, Texas health officials identified nearly 700 previously unreported COVID-19 deaths as part of an effort to begin better tracking fatalities related to the pandemic. The update shows that nearly twice as many deaths occurred in June as were reported by the state that month. And now, let's move on to the top headlines of the day. You can find links to all these stories in the episode's description. Disparities in education opportunities and outcomes are the long-term effects of local school district boundaries, some historians and activists say. Because they evolved from almost 50 years of racially segregated real estate development, the formal legal kind common in U.S. cities in the early and mid-20th century. The Black Lives Matter movement has provoked conversations about discriminatory policing. The COVID-19 pandemic has spotlighted health disparities among races. As society deals with these issues, the legacy of how school districts were created is a natural topic, said Democratic Representative Diego Bernal, who's a member of the Texas House Public Education Committee. Reporter Krista Torralva took a deep dive into the roots of San Antonio school districts, the effects of the past decades of policies, and the debate around consolidation. After a career working his way through the ranks of the Texas medical sector, helping develop Texas A&M University's federal contracts to mass-produce vaccines, Brett Giroir seemed an obvious pick to run the federal government's coronavirus testing program. Now, 4 months after the coronavirus pandemic hit U.S. shores in earnest, Giroir, Assistant Health Secretary at the Department of Health and Human Services, is coming under fire as the United States struggles to get its testing regime in order. James Osborne breaks down the problems and takes a closer look at Giroir's background. As San Antonio's coronavirus cases have surged, decisions about which patients to admit have taken center stage in Dr. Corey Harrison's ER, where about half of the people coming through have symptoms consistent with COVID. Christus Santa Rosa Hospital is sending some patients home whom it would have admit under normal circumstances, Harrison said, including those with mild hypoxia or lowered oxygen levels throughout the body. Reporter Lauren Karuba and photographer Bob Owen went inside a local emergency room to find out how doctors are working to preserve bed space as the city dances on the edge of disaster. A San Antonio mural dedicated to Vanessa Guillen will be completed on the city's west side in the next month. Like similar tributes to Guillen around the country, the depiction of the young Texas soldier will stand as a memorial and a reminder. It will give San Antonians another place to pay their respects. It will also stand as a testament to a murder and a sexual harassment case that might not have been exposed as it was, columnist Elaine Ayala writes. To keep our readers up to date on the path of COVID-19, the Express News built a dashboard of interactive graphics showing the spread of the virus in the San Antonio area, in Texas as a whole, and across the United States. You can find a link to that dashboard in this episode's description. Next up are your need-to-know headlines. You can find all of these headlines and more inside your Express News subscription. Texas A&M University has been selected to mass-produce one of the coronavirus vaccine candidates selected as part of the Trump administration's effort to make such a shot available to Americans in record time. 2 weeks after Election Day, the final vote for District 23 came in to show Tony Gonzalez of San Antonio narrowly defeating Raul Reyes of Castroville for the Republican nomination for U.S. Rep. Will Hurd's seat. Reyes is considering the possibility of asking for a recount. Governor Greg Abbott on Monday ordered that the early voting period for the November general election, which is expected to draw record turnout, will be extended by 6 days. Most cities in Texas, from Galveston to Lubbock, moved their May elections to November under a pandemic-era decree by Governor Greg Abbott. But voters must choose from among the candidates who filed for office months ago, at least for now. Governor Greg Abbott announced on Monday that students will be exempt from having to pass a standardized test to graduate from the 5th and 8th grades during the coming school year, saying students shouldn't be penalized for any disruption from the pandemic. The Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission suspended liquor permits at 18 bars over the weekend as part of an enforcement sweep after several hundred owners said they would open in defiance of Governor Greg Abbott's closure orders. The Express News editorial board writes, quote, "Many predictions of Texas turning blue or purple have come and gone over the years, but the state party may have accelerated partisan change with the election of its new chairman, Allen West." San Antonio's Rackspace Technology Inc. expects to raise almost as much as $925 million in its initial public offering, a regulatory document filed Monday shows. A new Harris County District Judge will again decide of whether to move Attorney General Ken Paxton's criminal case back to his hometown of Collin County. This marks the latest in a series of setbacks that have dragged out the resolution of a 5-year-old charge. Usually known for their fierce activist demonstrations, the Brown Berets de San Anto have taken on a new role to help their fellow San Antonians in need with their third food drive since the novel coronavirus pandemic hit the area. CPS Energy is embarking on 2 major green energy initiatives, one to increase the amount of energy generated by solar power and other sources, and the second to allow large companies to buy power from clean energy providers. Mark your calendars for tomorrow morning as the Express News editorial board interviews superintendents from Northside, Edgewood, and San Antonio school districts about the upcoming school year and the plans for reopening. You can find a link to the conversation in the episode's description. Yvonne Bonnie Garcia attributes her success as a marketing executive to a work ethic instilled by her parents. The founder and CEO of Market Vision shares her journey in a new book, Dale Ganas: How to Make Your Mark in Life. On the cover is a depiction of a colorful piñata being shattered. The saying, Dale Ganas, can be translated as, give it all you've got, or hit it hard, Garcia says. If you hit life as hard as you hit a piñata as a child, she says, dulces will fly and the sweet things in life will come your way. And now the fun stuff. Make your life easier with tricks and tips to get the most out of grilling and smoking on the cheap. This week, Chuck's Food Shack has 9 inexpensive grilling and smoker hacks to make your life easier. Mixley, the modernist Mexican restaurant named the city's best restaurant by the Express News, will move this fall from its tiny boxcar in Olmos Park to a bigger space in Southtown. The Briscoe Western Art Museum at-home lesson this week teaches kids how to make a pinwheel. The beer has flowed regularly throughout the 152-year history of Beethoven Manor Corps. But as of earlier this summer, the famed German beer hall in Southtown has added food to the festivity. As NBA scrimmages began in Orlando, The Spurs' Brian Forbes found himself in a new position, coming off the bench. The Flying Chanclas de San Antonio catcher Tyler LaRue has aspirations of playing at the major league level, just as his father, Jason, did for 12 years. And that's all for today. This was your Express Briefing. My name is Luis Vasquez. Please consider becoming an Express News subscriber to get in-depth coverage on all the stories you heard today. Also, be sure to rate and review this podcast inside your Apple Podcasts app, as it really helps the show. Have a wonderful day, everyone.